If you've increased your net worth over the last 7 months by a total of $6.5 billion, raise your hand. The only people that should be raising their hand right now is Trump and the Trump family, as he just increased his net worth by $5 billion by launching a new cryptocurrency scheme on a stock exchange because he holds with his family 22 billion tokens that have now been sold to the investing market. An investing market that has been told, don't invest in these tokens if you care to keep your money, if you want to trade, if you want to profit. Basically, I guess just buy it and use it as a coaster, even though it's a digital asset. And while that's going on, the other side of the split screen, and by that I mean the rest of America, you and me, we're suffering. This is the week when all new economic data comes out, or as I like to call it, Donald Trump's least favorite week of the month, because it's just demonstrating what we already have seen, which is the failure of the Trump economy. He was elected to keep America safe somehow and to improve the economy. You feel safer today knowing that 11 people in a boat were blown out of the water in the Caribbean, allegedly because they were drug dealers bringing drugs to other parts of the Caribbean, not named the United States? Do you feel safer knowing what's going on with Russia and Ukraine? Are you safer with what's happening between Iran and Israel, or Israel and Hamas? Are you feeling safer? Should Donald Trump be put up for a Nobel Peace Prize, or should he be indicted as a war criminal? On the flip side of that, let's talk about the economy. The economy, he's supposed to be the steward of our economy. Prices are supposed to go down. Jobs are supposed to go up. I mean, I only minored in economics, but I know the basics. Jobs up, prices down, manufacturing up, gross domestic product up, tourism up. That's what's supposed to happen. Do you want to know did you ever wonder what a failed presidential set of economic policies look like, or what a failed presidency looked like? You're looking at it, and it's Donald Trump. So I wanted to do that split screen as we kick off Thursday morning on Legal AF, of course, talking about Donald Trump and the economy. Our economy versus the Trump family economy. I thought that would be interesting. While you're here, if you feel that's interesting, hit the free subscribe button and help us continue to grow this pro-democracy channel, along with our Legal AF Substack. And amazing, I mean, I'm bowled over by how amazing this audience is that has come with us from Legal AF YouTube over to Legal AF Substack. Be a part of it. Be a part of it and hit the subscribe button there as well. All right, so let's talk about the bad job numbers. Donald Trump can fire all the commissioners of the Bureau of Labor Statistics that he wants, but it's the Bureau of Labor Statistics numbers that we still rely on to measure the health of an economy. And new numbers are out now showing the quiet cracking or the loud cracking of our economy, particularly while we're waiting on the job numbers. The Bureau of Labor Statistics jolted us with the JOLTS report. That's the Job Openings and Labor Turnover Survey. You know, we're learning more about the economy than I ever thought we would have to, but this is the state of affairs that we find ourselves with the Trump presidency. What it shows is, for the first time in 4 years, going back to COVID, there are less jobs available than people that want them. There are less jobs available than people that want them. So there are 7.2 million people that are looking for a job, but there's only 7.18 million jobs available. We're short jobs. Why are we short jobs? We're short jobs because job managers are not hiring because of the economic instability and turmoil created by Donald Trump. You know what business hates more than anything? Inconsistency, unreliability, the uninvestability of America, if you will. They hate because they can't make plans. And business people like to plan how much inventory they need 3 quarters from now. What's going to happen, not today, this fall, what's going to happen next winter? And how do they plan around it to make money? And Donald Trump is stopping them from making plans. So we have the job market has shattered. And we're going to see numbers, and I want to put this in the proper context. This week, we're going to see some sort of job survey numbers from the Bureau of Labor Statistics showing an anemic growth of something like 60 to 80,000 jobs. That sounds like a lot of jobs, except we're a country of 330 million, whatever it is, plus people. And we've got 7 million people looking for jobs. So making 80,000 new jobs is not going to do it, as 7.2 million people are looking for jobs. That's on top of revisions that showed 10,000 and 14,000 jobs in total. Since in the last 3 months alone, if those numbers hold true, Donald Trump has made less than 100,000 jobs in 3 months. 100,000 jobs total. That's laughable. It's actually cryable. I want to cry over it. So we're on the way to the job numbers. We've got this JOLTS number that I wanted to bring to your attention. That's not all, folks. The tariffs, even though they've been blocked, they will be blocked in October. They're still being collected. Whether you call it the reciprocal tariffs against 150 countries at an average of 20%, or you call it the sectoral tariffs, which are the tariffs on industries like automobiles and computers and chips, or actual commodities like copper and steel and aluminum, whatever you're going to call it, it's wreaking havoc with the manufacturing sector of our economy, goods and services. Now we're talking about the goods part, the manufacturing part. And purchasing managers, they're the ones that buy the products they need to make the goods, right? The resources that they need, the elements that they need, the rare earth elements they need, the steel, the aluminum, the copper, the textiles, whatever business they're in to make whatever product they have, they're the buyers for that. And their index, the purchasing index or purchasing managers index, is down below what we call growth. The opposite of growth is failure, I guess is the way to go. I wouldn't say non-growth. I'd say retrograde gross domestic product. And that's what we're watching. And all of Donald Trump's tariff schemes are weighing down the domestic managers and effectively their ability to plan, and therefore their ability to make goods as part of the half of our gross domestic product. We also have a loss of skilled workers in this country as I lead into tourism. We're not hiring because they're very hard to get them in and have them stay without being chased through the streets by Donald Trump's, Gestapo police force. But we used to bring in a lot of skilled workers from other countries who we needed, and they wanted to leave their countries under H-1B visas or other visas from India, China, and other places. They're not coming in anymore. They're going to other countries. They're going to Europe. They're turning towards the East. They're going to Canada. Shout out to Canada. They're not coming to the United States, which means we can't build or design what we need to build the way we used to. So that's another impact. Then we have the loss of the tourism dollar. Hundreds of billions of dollars of tourism have disappeared since Donald Trump has been in office just in the last 7 months. Can you blame them? And who's the beneficiary? Who's getting all the tourist dollars? And kudos to them. Canada. Kudos to Canada. because they're like America, but normal. They're like America under Donald Trump, but not batshit insane. And so people want to go there. I love Canada. I've been to Canada. I'm taking my family to Canada. I may end up moving to Canada. No. Well, if I do, I know I can join Midas Canada. I want to do that too. So in any event, tourism, listen to this number, is down 10% since the Biden years, the golden era. Let's return to the golden era, Donald Trump likes to say. All right, 2024, 2023, when tourism was up, and it's dropped now 10% from that, meaning hundreds of billions of dollars aren't being spent in America, in towns and villages and resorts around America, not being spent on hotels and on food and on shopping, on the investment side to build the hotels, to employ the people. Every one of those dollars has a job behind it. And that's all in the trash. We're exporting jobs now to Canada, because of tourism is in the trash, a self-inflicted wound. Go check out the numbers in Las Vegas. Go check out the streets of Las Vegas. Tumbleweeds might as well be rolling down the streets of Las Vegas during most of the hours there. That's a bad sign. That's a canary in a coal mine sign for the failure of the American economy under Donald Trump. Now let's turn briefly to how successful Donald Trump has been during this same period. He just announced about 2 weeks ago, to great scorn and criticism, that he's collected $1.5 billion I mean, he says it's for fundraising. I think it's for his pocket. So let's just say he's made $1.5 billion, which is about what I estimated with all of his cryptocurrency and real estate schemes. He gets to set the policies that improves his own personal wallet. You know, we've never had that before. A president that actually didn't think about you and me when setting policy, but only his own family wealth. So that was $1.5 billion. But sit down for the rest of this on this Thursday morning. He just brought in for himself and his family $5 billion on Monday. How did he do that? Well, there's a company I've been talking a lot about called World Liberty Financial. World Liberty Financial does a lot of things. It's owned primarily by Trump and people around Trump and his sons, and including Barron, apparently. And it's in the cryptocurrency business. They do a lot of things. They have a stable coin. For those that know cryptocurrency, it's tied to the US dollar, which Donald Trump just signed a piece of legislation called the Genius Act to regulate stable coins. That's one of the things it does. It also has meme coins that it sells on a platform like $ Trump and $ Melania and $ you're a sucker. That may not be one, but it should be one. And those are all crashed and crushed the hopes and dreams of their investors, except for Donald Trump, who's made a lot of money because he gets the buy and the sell. He gets the commission. He gets the brokerage. He's the liquidity pool that helps that market operate. That's another thing that World Liberty Financial does. They're a broker. They take in investments like $2 billion from Saudi Arabia to be invested in stablecoin into SoftBank. Don't ask. But I'm telling you, the Trump family made a lot of money on that. And that brings us to Labor Day Monday. While we celebrated organized labor's contribution to America, and by the way, we're down to 10% of Americans are in labor unions. It was in the 70s and 80s, it was 30 and 40%. And it's not because things are getting better in the workplace, trust me. But on a day where we celebrate, or supposed to be celebrating Labor Day, Labor Union Day, what happened? Donald Trump launched a token, a digital asset tied to the World Liberty Financial business, not a stock, but like a stock. It's a digital token that you can buy and sell and trade. It went for anywhere between 20 cents and 40 cents on the opening day. You lost a lot of money if you bought it at 40 and it dropped to 20. And guess who owns $22.5 billion worth of tokens? Billion tokens? The Trump family. So even at the low end, they're worth another $5 billion, effectively doubling their net worth since Donald Trump's been president. How do you feel about that? And what is this token? Sounds an awful lot like stock. You get to have a say on the governance, and you get financial reports, and you get a return on your investment somehow. That sounds like stock, but no, because then that would be regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission, and Donald Trump doesn't want that. So he put it under some new regulation under the Genius Act, and he declares to the world, including the investors, it's not an investment. It's not an investment. So don't do it if you want to make money. Only be prepared to lose money. This is their warnings, folks. And you shouldn't expect to sell it, or you shouldn't. I'm like, it's on a market. It's trading. I don't understand any of what you're saying right now, except people are buying it. And now, even though they're locked in, meaning there's a lockup period in which the original founders can't initially sell their tokens, they can do it over time, starting, I think, in about a year to 18 months. It's worth on paper $5 billion, just like Donald Trump's share of DJT, which is Truth Social, which is down to, I don't know, $14, something ridiculous. He made a lot of money on that and in selling it. So I wanted to contrast the utter failures of the Trump economy with what Donald Trump is doing as a fascist dictator, which is to try to steal as much money and make as much money and make a print and build a printing press into the White House as he possibly can before he leaves office. And then finally, when he leaves office and he flies away on the last day, and we're all lighting candles and praying in the streets when that happens, he doesn't go on his own. He doesn't take his own plane or spend his own gas money. He takes the plane from Qatar. Remember that Air Force One for $400 million, and then it's going to be retrofitted for $1 billion in total? He's planning to fly away with that to the Trump Presidential Library, wherever that is. The grift continues. I continue to cover it. I'm glad you're here on Legal AF. Take a moment, hit the free subscribe button. Come over to Legal AF Substack, do the exact same thing. And if you can swing it, I know we just talked about the economy and your own personal economy, but if you can swing it for our economy to keep Legal AF coming to you uninterrupted with the content that you love and enjoy, consider becoming a paid member of Legal AF Substack. It's about $7 or $8 a month. So until my next report, I'm Michael Popok. Can't get your fill of Legal AF? Me neither. That's why we formed the Legal AF Substack. Every time we mention something in a hot take, whether it's a court filing or a oral argument, come over to the Substack. You'll find the court filing and the oral argument there, including a daily roundup that I do called, wait for it, Morning AF. What else? All the other contributors from Legal AF are there as well. We got some new reporting. We got interviews. We got ad-free versions of the podcast and hot takes. Where? Legal AF on Substack. Come over now to free subscribe.